Welcome back to my channel. This is Lifestyle Aesthetics, where we teach you how to level up consistently over time. Today we are going to do a shoulder and arm day. So I was testing out some of this new equipment, and honestly, I don't like this shoulder press machine too much compared to the ones that we always do. I want to test this machine out for incline bench press. It just feels awkward to me. It kind of messes up my wrist just a little bit, just on the placement itself. But overall, if you're a taller person and you like to use this machine, probably better for you. For me, I'm gonna just go back to the shoulder press that I'm always starting with. So in my shoulders and arms day, I want to work on my three shoulder heads: bicep, tricep, and forearm. Ironically, last time I was a bit feeling a little bit a pinch on my arms. So today I felt a little bit better doing some lower weight, so just 70-pound weighted pull-up with a neutral grip. This is going to, of course, work at the back, but it's going to mimic doing a hammer curl. So my biceps, my brachialis, my forearms, that's what's going to be worked on more since we have lower weight. And then we're just practicing on doing the reps here. Um, and, and overall, weighted pull-ups and weighted dips, especially with the neutral grip, blew up my arms a lot. It gave me more muscle definition there. So I'm going to stick to what works for me. I just recommend you guys to make sure that you do this safe, not too much weight. Just adding these weighted calisthenics definitely will help you, get stronger overall. So the main focus on today's lifts is that we do two key heavy working sets. And then on the second working set, we're going to do a drop set. So as you saw in the first clip, two heavy sets with the shoulder press, and then we lower down the weight. So right now we did 70 pounds and then we decreased it to 35 pounds. So I just took away one plate and then we're just able to wrap out the last few in order to make sure that we're just making sure that we have the good hypertrophy doing the lower weight. Adding more definition becomes a little bit more easier, but the fatigue is higher since we just did a heavy working set. After the weighted pull-ups, you do some weighted dips here. So I feel like the reason I have that pinch on my arm is because I had the other bar that was more slanted. I need to go back to doing some straight parallel bars. And this is much more easier in my elbow area. So, we just started testing these out. I'm going to stick to these straight bars for the weighted dips and then the other bar for the weighted pull-ups. So definitely, with the weighted dips, lean forward just a little bit. Your triceps will blow up, your shoulders as well, lower pecs as well, going to blow up. Okay. There is a difference with the parallel bars. Close like this, we'll focus on the tricep, which usually what I do anyways. And if you open or just slide it the opposite way, it's going to focus more on lower chest. However, because the grip is wider, I do not recommend doing these heavy weighted dips. I would definitely recommend to do body weight and then slowly add some weight. But if to not have too much injury, I would not recommend heavy weighted dips for the wider grip. Closer grip, you're much less likely to be injured, right? So that's what I would advocate for. And then with this drop set here, just going nice and low on that deep stretch. I feel like my chest is getting blown up here, as you see, taking over the sleeves area. As you know, triceps takes away 2/3 of your upper arms. And then doing some rear delt flies with the cables. So usually I like to go high to low. It wasn't available today with the cable machine. So right here, trying to keep my arms parallel here, making sure that I am mindful as to switching over the arms every other set. And then just expanding it back. Of course, your upper back and your traps will be hit. But the main focus is for your posterior deltoids, which is something people don't really focus on if you want to get aesthetic 3D shoulders. So make sure that you focus on the posterior deltoids to make sure that all three shoulder heads are nice and balanced, and that's going to help you get that width for your upper body. So I do realize I've been going a little bit faster here. Sometimes you're not always going to have 100% mind to muscle connection. So, you do the best that you can. Okay. Then we do some lateral raises here for the medial head. I did feel like I somewhat did a minor injury on my wrist on the first rep here. I felt like a little pinch on my wrist. So I rested more and then just doing this again. So that stuff might happen to you. So definitely recommend resting or just using straight machines overall as we get older to avoid or to decrease the amount of injuries that you can have overall. So then we're doing drop set here with 15 pounds. Lead with your elbows as you do your lateral raises to make sure that you're doing them properly. So right now I feel like I've done a PR 45 pounds. This was a struggle since I'm forcing myself to get strong. 40 pounds is what I've been stuck at for some time. So today I wanted to feel, test out my strength. So 45 pounds on that incline, of course, it's much difficult as opposed to doing them standing up. Um, I feel like I'm getting stronger, but I can't tell if I did my good 4 or 5 reps. But the form, I'm trying to keep it as best as I can since I'm already leaning back. My head is against the pad. So right here, you can't really cheat too much here. Right? Maybe you arch your back just slightly, but getting those reps in with the heavy dumbbells, making sure that you get stronger with the biceps, since that's like something that's, aesthetically pleasing to look at, to feel, to have in your arms. And then we're doing jump set with 30 pounds here. Since it's lower weights, we're able to do much more, it's easier for us to do. So I'm able to do it much more controlled, holding at the top for 1 second and then slowly releasing on the way back down. Um, just getting overall strong and I'm happy with myself. So today we decreased it back to 30 pounds with these reverse grip curls because I don't want to injure myself anymore, right? Having the pinch last time and then tweaking out my right wrist on this workout session. So it's going a bit lighter. My forearms have been blowing up. I have been going slower on that, um, you know. And then we do some skull crushers here, okay? So with the skull crushers, right, I'm going heavy here, making sure that this is behind your head, right, as you go up. And then here we go with the other working set for reverse curls. So just supersetting them, just working opposing muscle groups together just helps you to figure out, how much time you are in the gym and then you save some time. So after we do some, moderately heavy reverse curls, I drop it down to 20 pounds. And then as you see, we're able to do it more slow. Of course, keep your back straight. Don't want to arch too back or swing too much. You're just making your forearms do the work. Then going back to my skull crushers here, resting for 2 to 3 minutes in between sets. And you see me flaring out my elbows because I am having my hands closer to the natural groove of the bar. Okay. Other people like to keep it tucked in. Me, I just like to keep it at a 45 degrees flaring outwards. For me, that's the most natural and comfortable position, right? That's where your elbows want to point out towards as you do these. So with these skull crushers, I feel a lot on my triceps. I definitely feel sore the next day, working at the longer head of your tricep, and it's gonna blow up a lot with the combination of the weighted dips. And then, I wanted to experiment with the lateral raises on the machines, just to feel more comfortable. Just experimenting for next time that when I do my lateral raises, I'm trying to make sure that I'm safe all the time, okay? I don't want to injure myself. I do not want to delay any progress. So for next time, I'm going to just use the machines more, just be more safe overall. And I do feel it. So it's not too shabby. So just making sure that you keep your back straight, keeping the right momentum, the right rhythm, nice, slow, and controlled. And that's the way to go for your workouts overall. So thank you for watching. Hit the thumbs up button, like and subscribe, and I will catch you guys in the next video.